Now, France has confirmed over 1 million cases of COVID-19. They're the second country in Western Europe to do it after Spain had those figures yesterday. Well, using Johns Hopkins University data, who've been tracking the outbreak across the globe, we can see of the global cases that have been confirmed, there are only 7 countries worldwide to record over 1 million cases. That's the US, India, Brazil, Russia, Argentina, and now both Spain and France. So let's take a look at the continent of Europe because the infection is still rapidly accelerating. In Germany, for example, in the last 24 hours, they've just reported a record number of infections, over 11,000. The health minister as well has tested positive for coronavirus. And Germany joins the likes of Greece, Poland and the Czech Republic in now issuing new restrictions, new measures for the residents living in those countries. Well, a little later on the programme, we'll be going to Berlin, also to Rome and to Brussels to find out more about the restrictions in place there. But let's return to France. Having just recorded 1 million cases, we can go to one of its largest cities, Lyon, because our reporter Guillaume Petit is on the scene for us. Guillaume, morning to you. So talk us through these figures. 1 million cases confirmed in the country. What's gone wrong and where is the virus circulating fastest?
Good morning, Rosie. Well, the situation is quite simple. There are more than 2,000 patients in ICU intensive care units right now. We're still far from the peak of the first wave, more than 7,000 patients in ICU, but it's the highest recorded number since last May, and something hasn't changed in France. There are still just a little more than 5,000 beds across the country in ICU. But also worries authorities is the fact that the pressure is located in some areas. Paris region and Lyon's region, where I am, accounts for almost 50% of patients in ICU at the moment. And here in Lyon, more than 90% of beds in ICU are occupied by COVID-19 patients, but also by other patients. But there's also other figures that are still quite worrying. The positivity rate for tests has kept increasing. And we've heard a lot these few weeks about the fact that young people are the most tested positive. Well, it has changed a little bit because for the past 6 weeks, the number of patients aged over 65 being tested positive has tripled.
And the Prime Minister of France, Jean Castex, is going to make a statement a little later on today. That could be about new measures to be imposed in the country. What are we expecting to hear from him?
For sure, Rosie, the state of emergency is going to be extended until February, and according to the spokesperson of the government, restrictions such as limitation of gatherings or the closure of bars could be enforced until the spring. So there's currently a curfew in 9 major cities, such as Lyon, but this curfew could also be extended. Maybe it could start earlier than 9 o'clock. It could start at 7, but the curfew could also be enforced in other major cities, such as Clermont-Ferrand, Dijon or Strasbourg. These areas could now be under a higher level of alert because the incident rate is also rising in these areas.
Guillaume, thank you very much. Our reporter there in Lyon.